Blue Foundation, Green Giants, Deep Red Alliance. Welcome to another Deep Red Alliance episode. I appreciate everybody jumping on in. We're still in the Deep Reds. We still got cryptos that are down significantly, cryptos that seem dead, right? But anyways, before we jump into it, guys, sorry for being a little bit late there, jumping into the party, but I appreciate everybody waiting. Always grateful. Thanks for hitting the like on the way in. Helps bring more of the Blue Foundation together. I see some of us are already in there. That's, makes my heart jump, man. It's awesome to just see, people now in the lobby chatting it up, already talking about cryptos, already acting like tigers, right? They don't even need me anymore, man. We already got blue wrenches here that already know the freaking deal. They already know the deal, right? Educating each other, right? We're all trying to get to the future here. We're not trying to leave the world behind like the elite are, right? Here we go. Silver Days in the house. Guys, once again, I'm not a financial advisor, not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. I am always wrong, but the Blue Foundation is always right. This is the worst show with the best community, and I'm so grateful to the community jumping on in today. Silver Days in the house, the Mooniverse in the house, El Prey in the house, Edward in the house. Good to see you, Edward. AM Wood dropping the XX Network and XPX logos. Let's go. Just sub to Crypto Wendy O's OF. My God, best TA in crypto. Let's go. That's hilarious, man. What's up, Frog Patsy? What's up, TIBBIR Patsy? AM Wood in the house. Tube Tops gave me a bull flag. That's hilarious. So she's inflationary. Sorry for the locker room talk. What's up? Clean in the house. What's up, man? Guys, hitting the like on the way in helps bring more grays into the chat. Helps bring the blue crew into the chat. They don't send out those notifications. The algorithm recognizes action, but it limits our action. So we have to overwhelm the algorithm where it has no choice. The light will shine through the shadow band, without a doubt. Mo Zerps in the house. Edward in the house. How's our Monday going, guys? Start of the week, right? And we're starting off bullish, excited, and we're starting off in the deep reds. We're going to definitely be going over the crypto, every Monday on our streams. Guys, we try to stream at around 3:30 p.m. PST, somewhere around that time. Sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's after. But, that's kind of the sweet spot for us here of when we have time to do some streams and talk to you guys for a good hour or so. But we're going to be on Mondays. We go over the cryptos that have made us gains in the past week that were yesterday's deep reds. Now, unfortunately, we can't really talk about these cryptos too much. Some of them may still be down in the dumps. They're nowhere near their all-time highs yet, right? But once they start going, we'll wait for them to be in the deep reds, like on the hourly, the 24-hour, but once they start creeping themselves out of that yearly, it's kind of hard to talk about them. But if, any semblance of red across the board or little bits of red across the board, we got to talk about it. But dang, we got some good. What's up, Quentin? How's it going, man? Or Quintessential, good to see you, man. Appreciate you. How bullish are we on a Monday? How excited, how fortunate are we to be, separated from millions upon millions of people and actually own digital assets, right? Actually own the future financial system, have it in our cold storage, have it in our cold wallets, right? We are still so early. They may leave the world behind, but we're taking the world with us, man. One video at a time, one stream at a time. That is for sure. So we're going to go over right now, guys, before we jump into the deep red selections for this day for today, because we stream daily, so we'll probably have a different set of deep reds as well. We got to go over the cryptos that have made us gains in the past week. We got to show the receipts. We got to show the receipts, right? All right. So the cryptos that have made gains for the Blue Foundation in the past week or so, in the past 7 days, we're going to, we already know, Patsy. We already know TIBBIR has made us gains. TIBBIR has made us gains. Every time TIBBIR goes under 30 cents, we're buying that thing up, right? It's the Blue Foundation. The Blue Foundation. Blue Foundation. We've evolved from a crew. We're no longer just this crew. We are the Foundation. If you ever read the Foundation trilogy by Asimov, we are the Foundation. We're just the Blue Foundation, right? He already had his foundation in those books. Now we're a different part of Selden's plan over here. We're a different part of Selden's plan. We're the Blue Foundation, man. The future is blue, without a doubt. Without a doubt. We had 2 teams in the World Series that play, for baseball that were blue teams. One blue team ended up winning, of course. You had the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. All the blue teams in the NFL are either second or first place in their respective divisions so far. And I expect probably in the championship games, the AFC and NFC championship, we're going to have some blue teams there. And we'll probably have one blue team. I'm not going to say two blue teams repping in the Super Bowl. That would be just too good, right? But I think we're going to have one team that is blue in the Super Bowl this year, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But, little esoteric stuff aside, let's go into the cryptos that have made us gains in the past week here. We start off with our, one of our meme coin choices from the XRPL, GZX. GZX has gone up 161% in the past 7 days. Gotta love those gains. We got a few that have made us over 100% gains in the past 7 days alone, you guys. XNO, Nano. We had Nano in our top 25 of micropayments cryptos. Truly fearless, can do micropayments, instant transactions, right? XNO has been on the up and up. XNO is well above $1 now. Could have been in the deep red. I mean, it's millions of supplies, so we're still lucky to get, a ton of this micropayments crypto before people start only being able to use drops of it for payments. But these were one of the pluses for why we liked it. Dude, this is why we like cryptos that have very fast transaction speeds, instant transaction speeds, and super low fees. Also, it's an X crypto, right? Borderless, universal, sovereign type of freaking platform here. And it's blue. You check off so many boxes with XNO, man. We've been talking about XNO, I think, going back to the early days, man, when Uphold, dude, one of the first assets that was on Uphold was not only XRP and Cardano, right? XNO was one of the first assets on Uphold. They have kept this one hush-hush. They don't want anybody to know about XNO and Nano and what's going on here. They rebranded from Ryblocks to XNO. It used to be RAI. They changed it to the X, I'm sure, because maybe the technology was freaking legit. They made some partnerships, right? They made some handshakes. They told them to shut up for a few years. Don't really push your product, right? Next thing you know, we're getting 104% gains in the past 7 days, and now people on the X are educating each other about NNO. They're chasing, or XNO, they're chasing pumps. Unfortunately, I still think this has a bright future because it's one of those silent ones, right? You got to love the ones that are silent but deadly, right? Just like a good old fart right there, man. The silent but deadly ones are always the ones that are the most stinky and the most offensive, right? Well, the silent but deadly ones in the crypto space are the ones that are going to be raging and making the most noise, right? That's why we love talking about cryptos that are in the reds, that seem dead. You know what a dead crypto is? It's just a ticking time bomb to turn green. That's what it is. When it's red across the board, it's getting closer and closer to turning green. And that's what XNO did, 104% gains in the past week. DUEL, Duel, dude, I just had been talking about this might be a very forward-looking one, right? I have it from last week's deep reds. We were talking about gaming cryptos, the gaming narratives, the metaverse narratives. Those are going to come back. Those cycles will come back around, especially when the bull cycle starts going on. Everybody will be like, you know what crypto is also good for? Play to earn, gaming, right? You're going to have all these different dimensions to it. But Duel, DUEL, building real generative games, AI generative gaming, right? This is the only crypto of its kind in that gaming thing. We talked to people about it when it was in the deep reds, right? 103+% gains in the past week for DUEL. I think this is the fact that it's like a one-of-a-kind crypto is already a plus, right? Because it's the only one that's doing generative AI gaming. I mean, right now it kind of makes like pixelated games, right? But it can make a ton of those games. Just wait until they start maybe collaborating with, other platforms that do high-end VFX for on the blockchain. Render, right? Render, we've been talking about in the deep reds. Render's a sleeper, and they're bubbling on up again, man. Now that we got Filecoin going and some of these decentralized cloud cryptos going, expect Render, high GPU speeds, high, on blockchain. OTOY has gotten very quiet ever since their success in that last bull cycle. That just means, hey, they either cashed out with our gains. I don't think so, because they're still really active. They could have rugged and then just never talked, but they still talked, but they're kind of quiet, right? I think they made some deals right? We know the founder has Apple connections. We know the founder has entertainment industry connections. OTOY is used. All the sophisticated graphics that you see in cinema today are because of things like OTOY and the render, the creators of the render ecosystem, right? Filecoin was in our deep reds at $1 or so. 76% gains for Filecoin in the past week. ICP was in our deep reds. ICP made more than 70% gains in the past 2 weeks, but 70% gains in the past week alone. Once again, quiet crypto, right? Seemed like it was dead. All of a sudden, it was just freaking had its nose down and was freaking working on a product and released a product called Caffeine.ai that seems to be changing the game right now, where you can generate apps without freaking having any coding experience, right? That's massive. So ICP doing some things. FET, we were talking about how much FUD was going into the FET ecosystem. That 20 cents was extremely undervalued for FET. FET is now plus 70% gains, right? It was red across the board. That just meant it was loading some greens, right? It was just getting ready for some green candles to start popping on up. Now we get a 70+% gain with FET. Let's freaking go, right? AI super powerhouse right here for FET. Can't wait to see what it does during a bull cycle, but great to see it doing some things in the past week. Shout out to Marvin Davis jumping on in, one of the hosts for Crypto Therapy, man. It's such an honor to be on your show, and always grateful, my dude. If you guys ever, in the future, I know we can't show up like every stream, but we'll definitely set up another one, man. And that was definitely good times and good vibes, without a doubt. And just always grateful, dude. He's definitely a tiger. He definitely knows how to tackle the deep reds. He knows how to go against the grain. He knows how to wait for the narratives to come to him instead of him chasing the freaking narratives, right? IXO, plus 56% gains for IXO, the blue butterfly. You guys know we love this blue butterfly, the Internet of Impacts and what it's building there. IXO looking legit. Very excited to see what IXO is going to do. Only can get it through the osmosis zone for now. Interested to see where IXO is going to go in this bull cycle. Still early days with this crypto. 100 plus million supply. Still at double zeros. I repeat, 100 million supply or so, like 140, 150, double zeros. They have a working product out there. UNICEF is, listed as one of their partners or, collaborators on their website. The UBS, Swiss National Bank, is listed as one of their partners on that website, right? Coinbase Giving is listed on their website, and yet it's not on Coinbase yet. They're trying to keep this one hush hush. They're trying to FUD everybody out of the Cosmos ecosystem. It is clear as day. The Cosmos ecosystem has taken such a dive, you guys, such a nosedive, that they want you to think it's absolutely worthless and that Tendermint is not going to succeed because, the Solanas are out there, the Binances are out there, the SUIs are out there. There's just too much competition now for the Internet of Blockchains. Meanwhile, Internet of Blockchains just continues to grow and more. Why would, Axelar from the Cosmos ecosystem is building freaking bridges with freaking liquidity giants like XRP, XLM, SHX. They are doing a great... What is this person freaking doing? What a terrible park job. It kind of like just... Okay, whatever. Terrible park job. Okay. Thoughts on NXRA? Definitely one of those ones that got rebranded, right? It used to be ALBT, Alliance Block, right? Or something like that. Now it's NXRA. Maybe that's, hey, I used to be turned off by rebrands, but now I just kind of figure, hey, maybe they made some partners. Sometimes you rebrand to make the people that you rugged forget that you created this project, right? To draw the newbies and then just rinse and repeat. Sometimes you do the rebrand because, hey, like ZBEC, for example. ZBEC was ZBC back in the day, and it only had 100 or so million supply, right? Maybe 300 million supply, something like that, right? Next thing you know, they rebrand to ZBCN. They add a shit ton more tokens to the supply, right? I mean, they do a little ratio conversion, right? Like some of these cryptos do, right? But hey, maybe the partners say, hey, we need billions. We need billions of these tokens for a global economy, right? We need billions. It can't just be, you know, you trying to be the next Bitcoin type of thing, right? They got hacked and rebranded. There we go. That's what happens. That's what happens. So NXRA, you know, very high risk. You know, like I'm not the biggest fan. I don't really have a bag of it. It kind of turned me off from, you know, when they rebranded like originally. But hey, if they succeeded in fooling me and being turned off of a crypto project and they flipped the switch, hey man, that's good on them. Good on them, man. You know, I probably should have a little bit of NXRA just in case, right? We're going to get into some deep reds that are that type of situation today. We got very high risk. Possible, you know, small swing could go a long way type of cryptos listed on the deep reds today, but we still got to go. Can you believe it? We have how many cryptos? We have 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 cryptos that have made gains for the Blue Foundation in the past 7 days. So we already went over GZX plus 161% gains, XNO plus 104% gains, Duel, DUEL plus 103% gains, FIL, Filecoin plus 76% gains, ICP plus 70% gains, FET plus 70% gains, IXO plus 56% gains, Cody Network, we have been talking. I mean, dude, Cody is still under 10 cents. Man, it is still down around those historical lows and testing those ranges. Cody has not even really begun its bull cycle descent, and it's already made. If you bought that bottom, this is why we love freaking deep reds. It has already made 54% gains, right? 54% gains in the past 7 days. Good luck getting it out of stocks, my man. Rose. We love the blue rose. We got blue roses around our blue castle right here. Rose is plus 50% gains in the past week, right? The rose is bubbling on up. The rose 2x'd. It went from a penny to 2 pennies. That's all you need, man. And now we start going to 3, 4. The X's start mounting up. I love getting these cryptos that are in double zeros, triple zeros, a penny range, right? It's just easier to keep track of how many X's we've already freaking obtained from these, you know, cryptos. Arweave. We had been talking about Arweave, the importance of decentralized cloud storage, plus 50% gains in the past week, right? We waited for that narrative to come to us, right? We were talking about how important decentralized storage is. Next thing you know, AWS outage, a centralized point of failure, right? Now it's people started to see the importance in decentralized cloud storage cryptos, right? And there's still some more that need to, you know, get going as well. Things like AKT. AKT, I think, is a big deal. Once again, they're trying to FUD everybody out of that Cosmos ecosystem. They're trying to FUD everybody out of the XLM ecosystem, out of the XRPL ecosystem, out of the HBAR ecosystem, out of the Algorand ecosystem, out of the Tezos ecosystem. These are Dino coins that have now established, you know, freaking ecosystems and DeFi. Before, they used to not even have freaking DeFi, and people would still be willing to speculate on them. Now they got DeFi going for them. I expect these cryptos to be doing some major work in the bull cycle, because, you know, if it's going to go to 10 plus trillion bucks, right, in this bull cycle, everybody's going to be looking for DeFi every which way. They're going to be looking for capped cryptos, limited supply cryptos every which way. The cryptos we hate will even freaking make gains, right? Everybody's going to be a winner. You have a freaking crypto, you have even one crypto of anything, you already set yourself out apart from millions of people, man. What did Sergey you know, the founder of Chainlink, say? 10x overnight the whole industry. He didn't say just Chainlink. He said they're going to 10x the whole industry overnight, right? So get ready for another speculative cycle, which just means walls of green coming over the walls of red that we're freaking getting some exposure to, right? Yes, XPX is also a storage crypto that still needs and has been bubbling up a little bit. I'm waiting for it to kind of retrace. Dude, yeah, I mean, XPX is a holistic solution, right? It can do storage, it can do identity. It was one of the first platforms to release a decentralized wallet, right? For, you know, that for enterprise use. You know, they can do data, what's it called? Data, storage, and compute, right? They can do the whole shebang. Hey, some people might say they may be spreading themselves thin by trying to be this all-in-one type of platform. We'll just have to wait and see, man. So far, so good. And hell, once again, $5 gets me 10,000 of these. I never have to think about it again. I'll just let XPX, prove it to me that it's an end-to-end CBDC infrastructure provider. And if it is, then that means 10,000 tokens is going to be crazy valuable in a world where people will most likely be fighting for drops of those X's, right? Drops of those X's, right? That's why I love the 000 cryptos, guys. That's why I got all the patience in the world. I'm still waiting for the micropayment freaking economy to happen, right? We're nowhere near that. We're still on traditional rails. We're still relying on centralized system. I want to see the decentralized world. I want to see no more reliance on centralized rails. I want to see full-on migration over to the new decentralized way. No single points of failure, right? Yeah, let's have that dip, G. Let's freaking go, dude. Let's go, AM Wood, man. I've been just, like, I love that it, like, now I'm getting greedy because I begged for 0004, but now that it's in 0004, I'm like, can you please give us maybe 0003 or 0002? Just touch 0002 once. I don't care if you wake up right away. I'll be right there to smash the buy on XPX at around that price range, right? Still the only crypto that nobody else but this channel talks about, and we're all, hey, I'm cool. We have losses. We have wins. I'm never putting in more than I can afford to lose. And you guys are making your own decisions. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader. I'll never tell you what to do. You guys are doing your own research. I'm doing my own research. I have some L's. I have some wins. You have some L's. You have some wins. We're all here together. We're moving into the future together, without a doubt. This is why I love being diversified. If I lose one, hopefully the other makes me a major win then, right? So we'll just end up seeing what ends up going down. But dude, if they take XPX down to 0002s again or 0003, I'll definitely be throwing maybe 4 coffees into it, right? Just 4 coffees worth into it. Get me some more thousands of a freaking 9 billion supply crypto and doing damage, right? Near Protocol plus 40% gains in the past 7 days. We've been talking, dude, Near Protocol went to $1 just for a quick second, came right back up, man. ARRR, privacy-focused cryptos. We were talking about the privacy narrative before that was freaking starting to become an important thing. Remember, the AI agent craze went on. Nobody was talking about privacy, really. We were talking about Zcash at 25 bucks. We were talking Dash, right? Super, definitely under the 100 that it was at. I think it was like 40 bucks for Dash, right? What else? Secret Network, ARRR, XMR. People are starting to love XMR all over again, right? I love that, dude. I am muting and like block. I don't block. I just mute. I'm just muting or saying I'm not interested in these posts. Any of these posts that are already talking about a crypto that we've talked about in the deep reds and a crypto that is just already pumping. It doesn't help me, seeing people just doing a bunch of I told you so's on the freaking, I get if you say like, hey, we called this out at this price, now it's at this price. That's cool. I dig that type of info because then I'm like, I gotta keep watching what this guy talks about, right? I gotta just, because he called it in a deep reds, right? He was speaking about it before nobody else. But I don't like the posts where it's like, did you get in early? Like, I don't know if they did, but they're just talking about how much gains the freaking crypto has made. That's of no help to me. That's of no help to me. So I mute it. I want just quality on my freaking X feed, right? So I can help out, or try to, research as, refine my research to like quality information about, other events that are going on or digital assets that are in the deep reds and that people, are keeping the faith on despite it being in the deep reds. Telos took a little bit of a dip. It's back to where it was at 3 cents or so, but hey, 35% gains in the past 7 days. Lumia, layer 1 RWA crypto, new kid on the block, weird black and white crypto logo. We don't know what this one's going to do in a bull cycle, but hey, I don't have to throw in too much to do some damage to that supply, man. $5. I think it's in the billions of supply, but it's at what, 16? It was at 12 cents when we were talking about it. It's at 16 cents now, plus 32% gains in the past 7 days. But Lumia could be an interesting L1, to get whole numbers of, and then see if this thing turns out to be one of those dark horses that surprise people, man. I don't really see a lot of people talking about Lumia much, right? I like the cryptos everybody's afraid to talk about or doesn't want to talk about because they don't, they don't have like that historical information to know whether it went through previous bull cycles or not. we're having some cryptos that are going to be going through their first bull cycles, right? Things like FLR and SGB, things like Corium, right? Things like Pulsara, right? We got a lot of cryptos that have TIBBIR, things like TIBBIR, right? You know, we got a lot of new cryptos with new faces, and I'm interested to see how they're going to do in this bull cycle. Quintessential, I appreciate you, man. From your mouth to the most high ears, let's go. Beeple has been posting TIBBIR in his art pieces lately, 3x in the last 2 weeks. Let's go. Let's go, WEF Patsy. I mean, dude, nothing's going to stop Orbita. Nothing's going to stop Orbita Capital, man. That consortium of people that are behind that thing, man. TIBBIR is definitely a powerhouse in the making, man. And we're so blessed, you know, to have Base Patsy giving us some, you know, he freaking hit on this one big time, dude. Shout out to you. We have TIBBIR in every title of our video because, I think you think this too, Base Patsy, that it looks like it's the leader of the AI agent, you know, rise here. So we'll see what ends up going down. Here, let me get my phone a little bit of some AC here. All right. Top 20 coin. Let's go. Top 20 coin in the making, dude. All right. Let's go. 33 bucks in the making. All right. Let's go. All right, guys. We got deep reds for you guys now. Appreciate everybody jumping in. Those were the gains of the past week. Trying to cool down my phone so it doesn't freaking die. The rise of the machines, man. Yeah, we can't let the machines... Dude, the machines are going to be charging us in little bits of drops, right? Right now, we're able to... Like, dude, the machines are doing a lot of free work for us, right? Hell, you already have to start to pay for more sophisticated research of ChatGPT or whatever, right? They're making you now start to go through paywalls for better AI answers and stuff like that, whereas before it was free. Just wait until now you start streaming little micropayments of digital assets for every freaking... Dude, it's going to be crazy how... This is why it's important to have a good memory. This is why it's important to have a good education. This is why it's important to, you know, be well-researched, but also to have an imagination and critical thinking on your own and trying to solve your own problems, because now people are going to get super addicted to just going to AI for every single little thing. Hey, AI, what about this? Hey, AI, what about that? Okay, that'll just be a charge of 0.00003 XRP, right? Like, and you won't even know. It won't even have to tell you that. It, you know, when you ask that question, it'll just already send the payment along with it, right? It's just going to be part of the game. It's going to be part of the freaking game, right? Bashir, do you think XRP will go up to $4? Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely, man. XRP is one of those quiet ones as well. You know, and I mean, it was super quiet. They try to FUD people out during the prime years of its... They definitely did not want people getting in below $1. They definitely did not want people getting large sums under $1. They tried to FUD people out big time. Now that it's at $2, you know, they still try to FUD it. They make all these other cryptos go up. They make a lot of distractions go on, right? And don't be surprised in this next bull cycle, even though I think XRP is going to break all-time highs, if XRP doesn't make as many gains as some of the other, you know, you're going to have celebrity tokens coming out. You're going to be having memes reviving. You're going to be having a lot of other distractions going on in this bull cycle. Remember, this 2026 bull cycle to me is the last speculative bull cycle. I don't think this is the utility bull cycle. But hey, maybe now that I've been saying that, and you know, maybe the powers that be do watch this channel or not, I'm not going to give myself that much credit, but let's say if they did, maybe they flipped the switch on this bull cycle. Maybe it is the utility bull cycle. But from where I'm gauging, I feel like this isn't the utility bull cycle, because there's not a cyber event that has reset, that has compromised the central rails yet. We need the centralized rails, the traditional financial rails, to be completely obsolete and irrelevant. We can't go back to it ever again, because the freaking new age of technology and hackers and stuff like that has totally compromised it, right? So we go into a more secure micro data, micro payment age, where hackers now, when they try to hack a payment or, you know, information, they just get a little packet of it. They're only able to hack one little bit instead of the whole freaking transaction, right? When you send $1 million as a bank, instead of losing, you know, all your freaking money or $500,000 of it, right? You only lose a freaking penny of it in that payment, right? If a hacker were to get it, right? This is going to be the innovation that Interledger Protocol is going to be bringing to the whole internet, right? Interledger Protocol is the most far along crypto, or I mean, it's not a crypto, the most far along Web3 infrastructure out of this whole space, in my opinion. They are part of the W3C, an early member of the W3C, right? And if you know what the W3C is, it's the World Wide Web, right? They're part of the internet, like there's this internet foundation, right? They're part of that. They're able to give advice on what the new web standards should be. So Interledger Protocol, the most slept on freaking project in the whole Web3 space, because it doesn't have a dedicated crypto, even though we know it's going to use a crypto that has already been approved by regulators, right? XRP, right? As the default experience for settlement, right? Across the whole freaking web. Because what do we do when we go on the internet? We expect to have similar experience of the internet that you guys are having and I'm having, right? So ILP is like, you know, the thing that is being most slept on, right? You have literally the dude that made Bitcoin popular, Stefan Thomas. He made a video back in what, like 2014, 2015, talking about how awesome Bitcoin is, right? That video went viral. All of a sudden, speculation aplenty started going towards Bitcoin. Next thing you know, he leaves development on Bitcoin along with David Schwartz. So you're talking about two OGs developing on Bitcoin that were like, hey, you know what? I kind of see a little bit of holes in this. We're on the ground floor. There's a lot of things we always have to patch up and do, right? Let's go work on the better Bitcoin. Let's go work on one that can do, like, actually do Satoshi's vision to the freaking max. No freaking, like, slow times, just instant gratification, because that's where we're going. Instant payments, micro payments, right? They left and went there for XRP. So very excited to see where XRP is going to go. Without a doubt, I definitely think it could break through the all-time high in this bull cycle. How high it goes, we'll have to wait and see. I don't think it's 589 just yet. I think it's 589 plus after the rails, the traditional financial rails, are completely replaced and completely compromised. What about ICP? D87, can you please rewind this video? We already talked about ICP. ICP is plus 70% gains in the past 7 days. We talked about ICP in the deep reds. We already have our position in ICP. We are not chasing pumps with ICP. But in terms of replacing the internet, ICP is nowhere near the potential of what Interledger Protocol is doing. And I'm not even trying to talk crap about ICP. Like I said, we bought in the deep reds. We talked about it in the deep reds, right? What I'm saying is ILP is much further along in development, in growth, in scope than ICP is, right? ICP may be involved in the Interledger Protocol, but Interledger Protocol is the complete underlayer to the whole IP, the Internet Protocol. I would do research, like, instead of just shouting out ICP, maybe I would do research, my own research, right? I'm not telling you what to do, but, you know, this is how I would do it. If I just shouted out ICP and I don't really know about Interledger, I would first do research on Interledger Protocol, right? Maybe even, hey, ask AI, because we can ask AI for everything now. AI, can you compare and contrast ILP and ICP? And, like, what are the major differences? Is ILP further along in its development? Does it have more connections? Oh, it's a currency agnostic system? That might be more suitable for these enterprises and these banks to transact with, because then they can transact with whatever they want instead of being forced to a specific digital asset to have to be used, right? So, you know, that's the way, you know, I'm not trying to bust balls, DC8, but I just feel like you just jumped in the middle of the stream, and we already talked about ICP like near the beginning there. And we've talked about it in the D87, my bad. But hey, I like ICP, but I think Interledger Protocol is a much bigger development. Interledger Protocol won an ISO 20022 hackathon. It has more receipts. It has more proof. It has been welcomed as a member of the W3 freaking C, right? It is a member of the whole World Wide Web consortium and has been there for a long time, like since 2018, right? Freaking the CTO of Ripple, the first CTO of Ripple, Stefan Thomas, left Ripple to freaking build this project. They built this project in Ripple, and Ripple was like, no, this can't come from a centralized company in order to fulfill its vision. It needs to be open, like a nonprofit, needs to be open sourced, right? And that's what they built. They built a hell of a behemoth. Reading the ILP white paper, the Interledger white paper might be that new age of the Bitcoin white paper. Everybody loves the Bitcoin white paper, right? It's like the freaking Bible of the digital currency world. ILP, I think, is going to be that next one, right? All right, anyways. Forget degrees, learn how things work, trade, robotics, maintenance, solar, off-grid systems. The ones who keep the machines running will own the world that runs them. Exactly. Zahao is up 34% in the past 30 days. Slow and steady wins the game. Hey, I'll take it, dude. Zahao is going to do some things, dude. Zahao is going to have its first bull cycle. Evernode's going to have its first bull cycle. Yeah. I do ICP holders call themselves juggalos? I don't know. The future belongs to people who can direct AI, not compete with it. Think orchestrator, not operator. No, dude. The future belongs to the people who own the blood of AI. If AI is asking you for micropayments every time it's answering a question of yours, every time you're freaking putting in a prompt, anytime you interact with the AI, it consumes a little bit of your digital assets at a time, right? That's who the future belongs to. It belongs to the digital asset owners. And I'm not going to let the AI own a majority of these digital assets. Oh, no. I don't want to interact with AI in the future. I want to just freaking go to the beach. I want to go surfing. I want to go to a freaking jungle. I want to go to, I want to have my feet in the grass. I'm already interacting with AI enough as is, trying to just get all the digital assets while they're on the cheap, right? I'm done with this era, the moment that we get into the new rails, right? I'm done with it, dude. Hey, I can maybe have an AI assistant that I can afford, and they, automate it and do everything with me, but I'm not going to interact with it outside of that. I'm just going to be like, hey, you already know what to do. You're my digital twin. You already know what to do. Hey, if the future is idiocracy, right? If the future is idiocracy, the AI is just going to do everything for you. It already knows what you like to interact with, what you like to see, what you like to do. I'm not here to freaking talk with AI, man. I'm not on this freaking planet to talk with AI, right? I'm on this planet to talk with humans. I'm here to have better experiences with human beings, right? It's going to be expensive to have those experiences in the future with human beings, because they're just going to want you staying at home, interacting with all your electronic devices, putting freaking ton of machines around you, right? And then giving you no choice but to be plugged in all the time to work for drops so you can afford even just one little precious human-to-human experience, live experience, right? Hell, most people will probably be able to do it once every 2 to 3 months. Oh, we're going to the beach finally, right? It's going to be so wonderful to go to the beach. And then you go to the beach and you're already addicted to you get impatient because you're so quick gratification. You're not even slow anymore. You can't even enjoy being at the beach anymore because you're just freaking speed minding of just thinking, oh man, how can I earn those extra drops? Right? When you just think about work, even though you're on vacation because you're not making enough money, type of stuff like that. That's what's going to happen. I don't want that to happen to me. I want all the digital assets. I want the lifeblood of these freaking AI. They're going to be working for me. They're going to be having to interact with me and asking me what I want. I'm not going to be telling it I'm not going to be going to it and saying like, hey, do this, no. My digital twin will do it all. I'm going to go on vacations. I'm going to be able to afford vacations regularly, unlike some other people who are just going to have to take vacations through the metaverse, right? And plug in. Right? I'm going to be unplugged, man. I'm unplugged in this future. My era of being plugged in right now, this is temporal. This is temporary, man. Dopamine addiction, those phones are our downfall. There we go. Learn to love the cage. WEF Patsy, Stockholm Syndrome, right? If you can't beat them, join them, right? That's what they say in the NTT data videos. That's been by the way, that has been assigned viewing. It's my pinned X post on my X, the NTT video series of Awakening Industries. We have in particular the banking one, but if you want to see the telecom one, the automotive one, the insurance one, all these industries are going to be digitized and affected by AI agents for sure. If my digital twin identifies as gay, does that make me gay too? I mean, dude, your digital twin knows you better than you know yourself, WF. So I think you just might be, you might just discover something about yourself that you never knew about. And you were like, oh, maybe that's why I was like this. Huh. Okay. I'm going to go freaking to some gay bars now. Because you can afford it. You can afford that human-to-human interaction, man. GDLT1, I'm Venice and Santa Monica Beach every week, my brother. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I'm going to the freaking beach, dude. I'm going on long trips. Yeah, I'm going to be going to the beach, going to be going to beaches all over the world. Going to have blue castles set up, right? Not going to have not going to have a smart house. Don't need a smart castle. It's just going to be pure blue bricks, right? I'll get some AI androids to protect the home, right? We need some SHX on that blue castle behind you. It is. I mean, the whole blue castle is SHX. The blue bricks are SHX, right? So we always say blue bricks and SHX, blue roses for Rose Oasis Protocol, Oasis Network, and then blue dragons for Dragon Chain. Guys, if you enjoy this type of free information where you don't have to jump through hoops or anything like that, we've been doing this daily for about 8 years now, 8 to 9 years, right? I think we're actually going to year 10. If it's going to be 2026, we started in 2016. So, we've been doing it like this for a long time. And we just like genuineness, man. I don't want people, who are, I don't want to tell people to like. I don't want to tell people to subscribe. I don't want to tell them to be members. I don't want to tell them that they have to subscribe to this in order to get this, right? I'm trying to get everybody, I'm trying to get as many humans to go into the future with us as freaking possible. I want the whole world to know about digital assets because AI agents are only going to be working for those. And pretty soon we're only going to be able to use digital assets, right? So I want, as much exposure as possible. But the funny thing is, this channel gets very limited exposure. We've been doing this for 8 to 9 years, right? Like in terms of streaming, right? And, we still only got 5K subscribers. Like it's freaking crazy. What a slow grind. What a slow growth. But we got quality. We got a quality community here, man. Worst show, best community. Who has got 2 thumbs and has no SHX? This guy, man, Ranger. I don't know if that's a fun thing to say, but I think you'll be all right because you have other cryptos nonetheless, man. Even the cryptos, that you do have will probably do well. Turn the Blue Castle dungeon into the man cave. Let's go. Shout out to everybody here. Yeah, I mean, if you guys are just leeching off me and trying to, whatever, hey, I'm just relying on this dude for the info. I'm so happy that I don't have to pay him. I'm so happy I don't even have to hit the like. I don't have to do anything. I just freaking take this guy's info and run with it, right? I mean, hey, there's times when I'm wrong, man. Doing your own research is the most important thing, man. That's when you become confident in your decisions. That's when you make those decisions. I'm not making decisions for you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader. Let's start going into some deep reds here, guys. I appreciate it. Lumia, 16 cents, 238 million supply, negative 86% down on the year. We got to see this already go from 12 cents up to 16 cents. So it is kind of making some greens, right? We talked about it making greens in the past week here, about 32% gains, but still a layer 1 RWA crypto at 16 cents, 238 million supply. So even if I have one Lumia, and this thing decides to go full on Solana and goes to $200, hey man, that small swing went a long freaking way, and I can make the rest of that work for me. I can stake it and just start printing some freaking passive Lumia, right, for my future, right, if this thing ends up being legit. Sounds like the coffee time crowd, right? What sounds like the coffee time crowd, man? What sounds like the coffee time crowd? Like what? Like freaking... What should I be doing Patreon, WF Patsy? You really think so, man? Should I be doing that? Right? I know a lot of people have already been telling me I should, man. And I'm not trying to down talk people who do, because hey, you freaking I need to make the dough. I just never feel really good about it because I'm like, dude, I'm just kind of I am doing research, right? I love the research, but dude, really at the end of the day, they're the ones making the freaking decisions, right? At the end of the day. So, I don't know. I feel like, everybody's got their own ways, man. Everybody's got their own ways, and I totally respect it. I'm not trying to say my way is any better. Just my way is like, I'm trying to bring as many people to the future. I want as many to come, man, because I don't want people to be left behind, man. That's just, we see where this is going, and they're going to flip this switch, and it's going to be too late for a ton of people. It's going to be too late for a ton of people, man. It's going to be too late. That's about to change, my brother. Share, smash, subscribe. Appreciate you. XRP in 2016, 2017 pumped 126,000%. What do you think is coming? So it begins. Let's go. Let's go. I vote you grow the beard and don't trim it until we hit $589. All right. All right. SHX, XPR are going to be monsters. Oh, dude, XPR for sure. Reflector. Yeah, Reflector has definitely been on sale, man. XRF and the whole XLM ecosystem is highly undervalued. People are sleeping on that big time. Aqua is still at 0006, guys. We could still get a ton of Aqua. The freaking liquidity management layer of the freaking XLM Stellar ecosystem, right, has already been Sorbonne enabled for a while. Dude, Sorbonne and XLM are going to be coming to take some of that freaking pie from things like Binance, things like Solana, right? Things, there's going to be a lot of other ecosystems on the up and up. AVAX, right? Avalanche is going to be coming, right? They just had an awesome integration with Chainlink recently, a collaboration and partnership there. So Avalanche, dude, people are getting more bullish on Chainlink, by the way. Love seeing that, man. The missing link, was in the deep reds, dude. That thing went to $8 in the deep reds, went to $12, right? Now we're freaking, still like at 17, 18 bucks, man. But I can't wait to see what Chainlink is going to do as well. But the Aqua must flow. Dude, Phoenix DeFi Hub, FO is like 19 cents, 20 cents, right? Freaking 70 million supply in that XLM ecosystem capped. Freaking earning passive income, converting it into SHX, converting it into, XLM, right? Yeah, dude, I have no clue what's going on with Zora. They keep talking like they're the freaking bee's knees, but what's the supply? What is the supply, right? I get it that you're in Hyperledger. I get it. I get that you're a Hyperledger crypto. I have Zora still. Right? But what the hell is going to go on with that crypto? Afrium? Yeah, Afrium in that ecosystem. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. The whole XLM ecosystem, man. Whatever you guys like, at the end of the day. I just like USA cryptos because I don't want to get taxed for cryptos that I have, that are from overseas. Really? I've been talking about Quant, right? I know Quant is a UK-based crypto. I hope I don't get freaking, taxed for my Quant earnings, man. I don't want to get taxed for my Quant earnings for living in America, so I also have AXL. AXL is a bridge of bridges. AXL can interoperate with blockchains, right? AXL is like the USA version of QNT, if you really look at it, right? But I understand Overledger has been around much longer. Quant has been around much longer. Quant is the OG. Quant is a behemoth. That's one of the quiet ones we have to watch out for, without a doubt. Still holding Zora, I got you. All right. Hey, just like they told us in 2020, right to our freaking faces, all the celebrities, all the politicians, we are all in this together, right? They were trying to make it seem like you're along with them, but they were literally telling you in double speak, it's just us. We are a hive mind. We are all in this together. So just same with the Blue Foundation. We're all in this together. We're going to see the future together without a freaking doubt. Watching AXL Block Explorer is crazy what you see. Exactly, man. Gotta love it. All right, moving on to the next deep red here. We got, what are you doing, Notepad? Stay there. There we go. We got Crust Network at 5 cents. 37 million supply for Crust Network. 87% down on the year. We got Inspect, the Tau DeFi layer for BitTensor Tau. INSP at 008. 1 billion supply, negative 88% down on the year. We got Nosana, NOS, 34 cents, 100 million supply, AI agent platform here, or AI platform on the Solana ecosystem. Low supply, 34 cents gets us whole numbers. We'll see if this one ends up being one of those standout AI platforms on the Solana ecosystem. There's a ton of them right now that are building on up. CYAI, Serene AI is an interesting one. A lot of projects that are launching off of that one, and they're very active. Still at the 0001 range, I imagine, for CYAI. Then you got, what else? Spore, SPORE. We talked about Spore at 000 what? 0003. It's now at 0006. This thing's bubbling on up a little bit. Spore is a very weird kind of AI launchpad crypto, but kind of interesting. Interested to see where this one goes. Amico, AMIKO. Dude, I got invited for Amico's Digital Twins beta, right? So I'm going to give that thing a little test out and let you guys know what's going on with that. I'm already setting up my digital twin for this future, Patsy. How do you like that, my dude? Are you setting up your digital twin? I'm sure you have a digital twin already, Patsy. I'm sure you do, right? But yeah, Amico, AMIKO, I think at like 3 pennies, 1 billion supply. It pumped a ton. It graduated off pump.fun. But the founder of this project is an early investor in TIBBIR, early investor in a lot of these freaking projects, man. This guy is a wizard in the crypto space, and now he's participating in it and creating his own digital twin platform with Amico, AMIKO. Looking very interesting there. Blue crypto as well. Blue crypto with horns, I like to call it. SQT, subquery token, Web3 infrastructure, 0006, 10 billion supply for SQT, negative 90% down on the year. We got Kin. I told you guys we were going to get into some very risky territory right here. Some very, very just like, I think this one's officially dead type of territory. And Kin for sure is one of those. We got 606. Oh no, 608 Kin right now. This is going to possibly be the easiest ever to be a Kin billionaire on a fully decentralized blockchain that has SEC clearance, right? The founder even freaking left this project, right? So we don't have to worry about any types of forms of centralization here. The funny thing is the founder said there's a 10%. Who gives out percentages, first off? He says there's a 10% chance that Kin recovers, right? I think they found out Blue Foundation was jumping on this one, and they're like, okay, you know what? It's just too much Kin love. Let's just shut up about it. Just shut up about it. Let's even have the founder freaking leave it. Right? So, I mean, this could totally be a dead crypto, man. But it's the easiest it'll probably ever be to be a Kin billionaire. 608, negative 92% down. Just doing damage to that 2 trillion supply. We don't even need to go back to the all-time high for Kin, man. If it is a dead crypto, speculation still runs. Kin could still probably get you a good 300%, 400%, 500%, who knows, in the next bull cycle. I mean, this is freaking absurd talking about this crypto as far as we have. I'm even scared of it. Honestly, I'm even freaking scared of this crypto, right? But we just have to, I try to just stay committed to the deep reds now, guys. You guys give me, you know, cryptos to add on to the list and research and all that stuff. And I just try to stick to the cryptos that are right across the board, right? You know, in the pits, right? Because sometimes they graduate out of those pits. We've always had a different set of deep reds in the pits that are no longer there, right? It's always new faces every freaking year, every bear cycle, right? These are the faces of the bear cycle now for the deep reds. Where do you buy Amico? I get Solana. I have it on Phantom, and then I swap it for AMIKO, right? I swap it for Amico on the Phantom wallet. Watching AXL Block Explorer is crazy what you see, definitely. But yeah, I'm participating in their beta for their digital twins. Going to see how that works. I want to see if it's a working product for sure, because then that gets me even more bullish on the token, right? So I'll definitely be giving you guys some info on my experience with that, and hopefully if we ever get a studio one day and we get a nice mic and I can share a screen with y'all, I can share with you my experience of the digital twin and just see how it goes. Right, A0 is at 1 penny, 520 million supply, negative 96% down on the year. It went to 009, 008, came right back up to a penny. Right, there were buyers at around that range. It looked like. Still part of the Digital Euro Association with Ripple, Quant, and Electronium. Right. So yeah, A0 definitely looking like a dead project, but hey, you know, I just throw $5, get whole numbers of a 520 million supply. Don't matter. People go, dude, gee, you can't be this diversified and just only have $5 and expect to make ridiculous gains. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Do you guys know what bull cycles are like? Have you guys experienced bull cycles? Do you know how wacky and freaking crazy these bull cycles get? Right? where your $5 could possibly turn to 500, can turn into 5,000, right? I'm cool with waiting, dude. I already admit to myself that $5 is dead anyway. I'd rather have it as a crypto in my portfolio than it just being stagnant in my bank account as $5 of dying fiat, right? I don't mind it just being, it's like a freaking lottery ticket. Why buy a lottery ticket when I could just have whole numbers of a crypto that could possibly be freaking life-changing? Imagine if it actually, dude, and I'm just saying with this could be any crypto, but I'm saying with A0 in particular. Imagine if A0 actually was a real deal thing. It's a 520 million supply. That means it could be multiple hundreds in price like Solana is. I use Solana as like the average, estimator for 500 million supply cryptos. Right? That could be freaking life-changing, filthy gains. When you're jumping in on a deep red that everybody is afraid of and nobody believes in and everybody believes is dead, and then it turns out to not be dead, especially in a speculative bull cycle, right? Filthy gains are there to be had. So I rather have $5 in a crypto than, not, right? If it's a crypto that I'm like, damn, I'm just going to go off the potential here, right? And then I can find another place to, obviously I'm stacking up on blue chips and stuff like that, but, I don't mind taking little swings that could possibly have big rewards or go a long way. Some of them will be L's and the $5 is gone. Some of them won't, right? Let's go with the DEAI01. DEAI is kind of a new kid on the block, but 1 billion supply, negative 95% down on the year at 2 cents. Collaborations with NVIDIA, collaborations with Oasis, the Blue Rose, Ocean Protocol, Kudos, and FET, and Aptos. So this is looking like a legit AI project that's going on here, right? So I'm interested to see where DEAI is going to go in this next bull cycle, especially with 2 cents, 1 billion supply, negative 95% down, deep in the dumps right now of the deep reds. We also got Nodal, Nodl. Dude, I think Nodal is a sleeper. I think they definitely don't want you to know about this crypto. That's why they keep it in the deep reds here. Nodl is 0001, 21 billion supply, negative 94% down. Salesforce, I repeat, Salesforce follows them on X. You see Salesforce ads all over the place with Matthew McConaughey talking about AI agents and AI and the era of AI. What is Salesforce doing? Following a crypto that is in the deep reds, right? NODL, 0001, 21 billion supply, negative 94% down. SQT, Subquery token follows them. We just talked about Subquery in the deep reds at 0006, 10 billion supply, negative 90% down. IOTX, one of our penny gems in the Coinbase ecosystem, one of the X penny gems that we can get on Coinbase easily, follows NODL. So Salesforce was really what sold me on it on a little bit here, where I was like, dude, okay, I think I'm fine with throwing $5 at a Salesforce project or a project that's followed by Salesforce. I'm totally down. Why not? 0001, what? I get 50,000 tokens, right? Get 50,000 tokens, never think about them again, and see if Nodal ends up becoming freaking Salesforce's crypto of choice. 21 billion supply, negative 94% down. Holy cow. God, you got to love the deep. Dude, enjoy the deep reds while we got them, guys, because they're not going to be like this for long. When crypto actually is in a bull cycle, we start shifting from deep reds to laggard mode, right? What are the cryptos that are just lagging behind, that haven't caught steam yet, that haven't made their pump yet in the speculative cycle? Right? That's what we're going to be looking forward to next. And then after the laggards are out and everything is just walls of green, we're just celebrating at that point. We're not chasing pumps, right? This is why we like to set the infrastructure up in the deep reds, right? ABX is top performing DTF, all the digitally traded funds of all time. Nice. Nice. Let's go ABX. Gotta love those X cryptos. If TIBBIR does not crack $1 in the next 4 months, I'll apologize to Nerdy and admit he was some clue of what he's talking about sometimes. Okay, for sure. For sure. That's interesting. Dude, I hope in the next 4 months, man. Let's go, WF Patsy. Let's go. Let's go to a freaking dollar, my man. Hell yeah. Let's go, TIBBIR. Let's freaking go, dude. Dude, Patsy is gonna be a millionaire at that point, man. Or at least have a good, like, freaking probably 500,000 in his freaking bank account. That's for sure. Shout out to you, dude. What are your best AI picks? FET. I mean, AI picks that are deep reds across the board, or AI picks that, maybe they've already pumped, but just in general AI. XRP, I think, is a great AI crypto because they were they were the first one to think about micropayments, right? They knew, dude, earliest interviews of Chris Larson is him talking about their partnership with IBM and how the future is going to be machine-to-machine payments, right? That the future is going to be AI to AI payments. So you don't think they have counted for XRPL to be made for this world of AI to AI payments? We're forgetting that the elite is behind this freaking project. They're not going to set up this project for failure, right? In the earliest days, they were already talking about AI payments. In the earliest days, they knew that this is what Bitcoin was freaking missing, is that AI is not going to be doing micropayments of freaking Bitcoin, right? It's not going to be able to. The block times, the consensus, the speed, it's just too slow. It's just too slow, right? Can it scale? Can it go to scale? And by scale, I mean the micro level scale, the micro data scale. Right? I'm not trying to talk crap on BTC. I just don't think it's going to be number one forever. I think BTC will still be around doing its thing, right? Because people just have blind faith in something that they don't know who the creators are of, right? But hey, that's okay. That's okay. Hey, we have blind faith in gold, right? But hey, gold is a more time-tested type of thing. And, it's just, some people say God created it, but hey, Earth, we at least know Earth created gold, right? That we can still find a source of the creation, right? I'm not willing to just put my blind faith in a technology that I have no clue who created it. What if it was the CIA? What if it was the government? What if it was the NSA? What if it was, what if it was a freaking dictator, right? From a country that is just definitely not, complimentary or anything, what we just don't know. And it could be revealed, right? Time reveals all things. And we could finally know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, right? Hell, you'll probably be able to see with AI in the future. AI will probably be able to dig deep enough, right, to find out who the original creators of the Bitcoin protocol were, right? They'll be able to just trace it all the way back to what it most likely was, right? Trace it back to the very first computer, right? Trace it all the way back somehow, right? So, FET, XRP, let's keep going. I think HBAR is going to do tremendous things. Let's see, virtual with the, it's got like the AI agent first mover advantage kind of going on right now. We'll see if, FET has had this, but it's just been in private repos, right? You just never know, right? What's another AI project? What's another good AI project that's like a deep sleeper AI? Oh, the Blue Rose. Can provide decentralized recovery. Was very forward-looking to be going towards AI when it was created. And doing private smart contract logic, right? So the Blue Rose. Those would be probably my top 5. And then, yeah, sure, BitTensor Tau. For sure, let's throw BitTensor in there. I just shouted out Inspect, the DeFi layer for BitTensor at 0008, 1 billion supply, negative 88% down. Let's go to NCN, Neurochain AI. NCN is at 0001, 3 billion supply, negative 96% down. It is followed by some pretty big AI platforms, Kudos, Kima, and Solidus AI. The fact that even Kima and Kudos are following Neurochain is pretty interesting to me. And it's I love cryptos like this because once again, my $5 could go a long way. I get whole numbers of this freaking project, never think about it again. 0001, 3 billion supply. So $5 gets me 50,000 of these freaking cryptos, right? 50,000 out of that 3 billion supply. Never think about it again. See if it digs itself out of a negative 96% hole and then goes plus 96% and then some, right? I thought AI team from Casper ran to Hedera. Yeah, so there we go. Hedera is definitely a good one. Does Casper have an AI strategy? I think Casper is a sleeper still because Why would Casper, even though Casper Labs like went to, or the team went to Hedera, why did they still bring Casper along into the Decentralized Recovery Alliance? I think there's something fishy there. I think there's something interesting going on there. So CSPR is part of the Decentralized Recovery Alliance. If you guys don't know about the Decentralized Recovery Alliance, I don't blame you, right? The blue wrenches definitely know by this point. But decentralized recovery is a narrative that is going to be coming very, very soon. Because if your blockchain project is reliant on centralized rails in any shape or form, and also cannot provide recovery of assets for these institutions, for these enterprises, for these banks, right? Big money wants security. Big money already knows that reliance on centralized system ain't the way of the future, right? This is why the Decentralized Recovery Alliance is way ahead of the game, right? And if you're a crypto that maybe isn't part of this recovery alliance, but you can provide decentralized recovery, you're already way ahead of a ton of other digital asset projects that are reliant on centralized rails. Once again, we are not in the full peak of this .com bubble phase of digital assets. The bubble may pop, right, or may expand to its peak in this 2026 bull cycle, right? And then it will pop when the cyber event happens and all centralized rails get freaking compromised, right? And then we're going to see which real ones were online while everything was offline, right? Which ones were able to provide decentralized recovery of assets when all the other ones weren't able to do so, and just say, hey, sorry about it. We can't give you those cryptos back, right? I mean, you can already see that narrative unfolding, right? You can already see that coming, man. Once again, the assigned reading or assigned viewing, hey, you just get popcorn and just enjoy a good sci-fi tale, right? All those videos, all that whole series. I mean, I specifically highlight the banking industry, the NTT data awakening of the banking industry, but all the other videos, the insurance industry references crypto and says about hackers going to be confiscating millions of Bitcoins, right? That hackers are going to compromise, and get millions of Bitcoins, right? And then there's going to be a cybersecurity act or a cybersecurity legislation that will be passed afterwards, right? I mean, hey, you want to know how we could stop hackers? How about we stop building stuff that hackers could hack? How about we just don't build those things to begin with, right? How about we just don't put millions of people in freaking danger and susceptible to hackers? But hey, it is what it is. We can't stop ourselves sometimes. We're just going into this future willy-nilly, and just, make the mistakes and then fix them as we go. XPR, web authentication, exactly, Marcus G. Metal, blockchain, and XPR allow for KYC as an option. This is big. This is why we like XPX as well. Sirius Chain, Proxima X, Sirius Chain, XPX, the only proven crypto to provide end-to-end CBDC infrastructure at a CBDC tech sprint, right? Acknowledged by the BIS, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and G20. The first crypto ever to have natively inbuilt within its protocol KYC. It's not just an option. It is it's absolutely necessary. Sure, maybe it's better to have it as an option, but when you're talking about enterprises, you're talking about regulators, you're talking about central banks, they want that freaking KYC. They want that KYC. They want know your customer all the freaking time. They want KYA, know your agent, all the freaking time, right? Shout out to show your pubis, flaky booger. I appreciate that, man. Maybe some other time, dude. Maybe some other time. I mean, you can get an idea of what they look like just by looking at my beard hair right here. Yeah. And then maybe some of my hair here. I would say my pubes are definitely as long as my hair is, for sure. I would say they're like maybe even longer. If you want like just a visual, your imagination can visualize it a lot better than just me showing it, dude. AVNT. Top Secrets, what's up, man? I mean, dude, trolls hate it when they jump into this channel because I just like play along with them. And hell, we have a room full of blue wrenches. Like, hell, and then we eventually become friends, right? Some trolls stick around and we just eventually become good friends, right? It's awesome. Nansen AI, AVNT is number 2 accumulated token. Nice. You know what's an interesting one too that I've been seeing around a lot? I don't know if it's pumped or not a ton, but ACME, accumulate. I've been seeing in some freaking documents that has been very interesting, and I'm like, what? Accumulate. Okay. But I'll write down AVNT for sure. Maybe we already have it on the list, but I need to research it. But yeah, guys, those are the deep reds. Those are the big greens from the past week. Yeah, Acme, ACME. It's called Accumulate. It's a blue crypto as well. Good amount of followers for this freaking project. Very, very good amount of followers, and been seeing it in some interesting documents without a doubt. So ACME is definitely an interesting one to keep an eye out for. I don't know if it's a deep red across the board. That's probably why we haven't brought it up in the deep reds list. I try to stick to cryptos that are like 70+% down on the year, and just whichever ones are red across the board. You know, guys, so, but we'll have a different set of deep reds, I'm sure, and maybe some repeats tomorrow, but we try to stream daily at around 3:30 p.m. PST. If you guys are just jumping on in, I appreciate you. Thanks for hitting the like. Thanks to any new subscribers to the channel, helping us get to 6K, and, you know, trying to shine light on our shadow ban here. As you know, any bit of support really helps, guys. Becoming a tiny G, even for like $1.99, right, turns you green, sets you up on a journey as a green giant. And you know, in the description below, we got our Merc store, we got our Coinbase ID if people want to donate, you know, coffee money of cryptos to us. We have our Ember app right there where we're mining passive Satoshis just by watching an ad a day. And if you use the referral code, you get extra Satoshis that you're mining daily. Hey man, I'd rather be making passive income and passive Satoshis while I'm living and breathing and doing things, right? Having my cryptos work for me, having my cell phone work for me, having my devices work for me, and cranking out digital assets, right? Let's see, the Blue Foundation. Let's go, man. So appreciate you guys. We stream daily at 3:30 p.m. PST, so I'll most likely see you tomorrow. If not, it's around that time frame generally, or I'm going to release a notification of the true time that we're streaming on that day. But we try to stream daily nonetheless to give daily deep reds. If you guys enjoy this type of free content, I know I appreciate the like, appreciate the sub, appreciate any new subscribers, and of course hitting the bell. The bell might not even work because they don't want to notify you of this type of bullishness. But hey, it can't hurt doing it. Right. So grateful to y'all, living a life of gratitude as always. Thank you, Blue Foundation. Thank you, Green Giants. And thank you, Deep Red Alliance. The future is distributed ledger technology, and the future is bright. Our future is bright. We got the golden eyes, and we keep it crypto. I'll keep trying if you guys keep trying, and I'll see you in the Blue Castle. Much love. Adios.